All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the Coastal Classic. I'm in Monday's practice round of the rookie division. So we got going on hole number 8. All right, I need to make sure I bring the right stuff here. I am going for this island, and I'm going to bring a 3-power ball, but I'm going to bring a big topper and see if I can run it all the way up there. And I don't care if I get in the rough. If I get on the island, awesome. If I can figure out a way to get on the island every time, awesome. But if I end up in the rough out here, I'm not going to be too upset about it because, and if you've got lower developed clubs, all right, if you have lower developed clubs, you have, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you have lower developed clubs, this hole takes a backspin this takes a backspin long iron and a backspin short iron. So if you don't have a thorn that's upper developed where it's got 90 plus backspin, and if you don't have a maxed out Saturn, and a maxed out Saturn doesn't work really well here, it will work, but it's not the best club to bring, then your best bet is to hit into the rough because you have a machete, and a machete gets its backspin really quick, so it has 100 backspin. And I'm not sure when a Houdini gets its 100, but bringing a Houdini here and but hitting it into the rough is pretty easy. So if the best backspin club you have is a machete, then I guess you're hitting this into the rough. Okay, I'm going to move off of my usual suspects. So this hits the same as my Nirvana. I'm going to a Houdini, which hits the same as my Saturn. And I think everything else there. I'm going to bring a claw instead of a thorn. Excuse me, thorn. And the reason is that even though the claw has 97 backspin instead of 100, that is, I can live with that -3, but the 25% or the 75% accuracy versus 57%, it's absolutely worth the accuracy to go with the claw. I know a lot of people like thorns, but if you've got a maxed out claw, it's definitely a great club. I don't really even use my thorn. I use the claw because it's a better utility club. If you get caught out there and you didn't change up bags and stuff, you can get it done with a claw because it's really accurate. Look at this one more time. Ball. I'm going to bring a Titan. Titan. What was I thinking? Titan. I got sidetracked there and forgot what I was doing. All right, hole number 8. Here we go. Oh, brought the wrong bag. I need to change that up. I'm going to change that extra mile to a big top. We're just going to go for it and see what happens. It doesn't matter if we get caught up in the rough or not. So we're going to see. We're going to hit it as good as we can hit this big topper and see if it can blast through. Lily Pop Potato. Alright, my opponent goes first. Let's see what they got here. We got an extra mile and they got a Titan. So they can get all the way out to the end of that. Everybody's worried about getting into the rough out there. If you bring a machete, I'm telling you, you're going to like that shot from the rough. What I learned the first time this was in a tournament was in the Summer Major in 2018. This hole, I didn't really, I mean, I got a birdie on it every time, but it wasn't one of the eagle holes. There was other holes that I was doing better on. But the last couple of times I played it, that rough shot is pretty awesome, actually. So I can do a max overpower shot here. I don't think I need to do a max overpower. Take the wind out. I'll put some curl on it. I'll put some overpower. Not a lot. Hitting it great to the right. About 1 ring. Got my trajectory off just a little. Needed a little more curl. I got a huge fairway there to the right and missed it because I didn't put on enough curl. Look at how big that fairway is. But I'm not too upset about that because I have a machete and I'm way deep in the club. These clubs, these rough irons get more accurate when they get closer. Now think about how your normal clubs work. You pull out your short iron. It hits from, maximum, let's say 82 yards. And so its minimum is like 50. So it has a very short window. But your rough iron and your sand wedge, they hit from 129 to 0. So when you get down towards 0, they get super accurate. So the closer you get to that part of the club, they're really accurate. I got a machete here. There's max club. So from where I'm at, there's mid. Mid's about 4. So we're in the maybe 3 range. I'm going to go right at it, and that's the cool thing is I got 100% 100% backspin. I'm going to do 1 ring. Hit it great to the right. It went great to the right. It looked like that was probably a little bit of an overpull, but I have to hit it perfect a couple times so that I can see what that wind adjustment's going to be there. But it's not quite max club and it's not quite mid. It's in between mid and max. And so mid for me is, or max is 2, mid's 4. So in between, that's why I'm using the 3. I'm picking an imaginary number. I'll go through that. The deal is that your rough iron and your sand wedge, you have to have faith in those numbers. So you have to figure out the numbers for your clubs. And if we draw some lines here. Here's the tee box. Here's the tee box. You're teeing off, and you're coming out here, and let's say it was 120. And you're using your rough iron. Out here, I find that it's half of whatever it says. So with a Nirvana, it's right around 100. So it should have basically 1 per ring, but I found that it's 2 when it's at max. Here's mid. Here's halfway in between. So normally I play at 2, 3, 4, and then if you go halfway in between here, I play at 8. And then anything that's inside of this, that's here, then we're starting to get into that where here's the cup, here's the flag. From here to the center, I get my arm on there. So from the flagpole to the edge of the cup is 4 miles per hour is the way that I work it out. So 4 miles per hour. And so that's how I use my sand wedge and my rough iron. Those are the numbers that I use for it. And you'll find that you're going to be, at least I find with a Nirvana and a Spitfire, that these numbers are pretty close. The Spitfire is actually a little bit higher because its accuracy is not quite up there. It is a little bit higher, but I still play it generally in these numbers just so that I have some number range for it. All right, that was a quick little lesson there on how I'm figuring out those numbers for the rough iron. All right, that was hole number 8 for the Coastal Classic Tournament. Thanks for watching.